Are wheels the ultimate upgrade to your bike? Well, they can be, but there's lots to consider when making the choice. Wheels make a real difference to the riding characteristics of your bike, especially when considering the tyres as well. So today I'm going to meet a shop mechanic to find out about some of the most common wheel problems, then talk you through different build wheels to give you some pointers in what you should be looking for if you're replacing or upgrading your wheels. The simple fact is that an e-mountain bike covers more terrain in the same amount of time as a regular mountain bike, and that demands durability. Add to that the extra package weight and your wheels can take a battering from every direction. The rims, the spokes and the bearings. More miles in turn means your eMTB wheelset needs to have durability right near the top of the wish list rather than weight saving. Durability in construction, no more so than the hub, which has the added torque from the motor, some of which can be pushing over 1,000 watts. This durability also needs considering with the type of e-bike you ride. An eMTB that will be riding smooth forest trails or flow tracks will not need to be of the same strength as one that, say, will be tackling very steep technical terrain in both directions. Heavier riders will need stronger wheels. And by heavier, I mean literally, how can I say it, plus size riders, but also I mean heavier in the type of riding being done. Punishing the wheels through rough terrain or with big landings, just heavier riding. Lighter riders, again by weight and by riding style maybe, won't need as strong a build, so weight could be saved. Quality hubs will still be high on the list of things that you want, but a lighter rim could be considered as they won't be getting smashed hard down rocks and things like that. And also a stiff build could give you the sharp riding characteristics that you're after. You and how you ride your bike will determine the best type of wheels to fit your needs. So it doesn't mean that spending the most money on wheels will get you the best set. It means to truly upgrade your bike and riding experience, you should try and buy the best wheels that give you the performance that you want. More than anything, a good quality wheel set should add up to a major upgrade of an eMTB that comes with a budget wheel set. And don't overlook that they should give you more reliability and serviceability than a cheaper wheel set. Now I'm here at Stiff Mountain Bikes in Bristol to meet some people who sell and service bikes and wheels to get some advice. Right, Isaac, you've got a well-stocked shop. What about wheels? Is it something that people come in to upgrade?
Yeah, definitely. So we do a pretty good mix of complete wheel sets. And obviously with Dan being here, we've got a real good scope for being able to offer custom builds as well. So we could pretty much do anything, to be honest.
And could you put like a price on like the average spend? Are people spending, big money on aftermarket wheels?
Yeah, it varies. Like if you're looking at maybe like an aluminium wheel set, 500-600 quid, it's going to get you something pretty decent. If you're looking at carbon rims, that obviously pushes the prices of stuff up a little bit. So, 1,200, 1,500 quid for a decent carbon wheel set is probably where most stuff's coming in.
Right, Dan, so if someone's bringing an e-bike back, maybe first service or, 12 months, let's say, after that, are you seeing things going wrong with their stock wheels? Like, I'm guessing if they're doing loads of miles, they'll get worn out a bit.
Yeah, like I say, main thing is extra mileage over a normal bike. So bearings see a lot more wear, generally speaking, worse conditions as well. We see a lot of people using the e-bikes more through winter. So they're seeing the bogs, all the mud and the grit, and then just general things on kind of your low end stuff as well. Like cheaper rims, spoke tensions tend to be thrown out a little bit more than on kind of a custom built set.
Are you quite often, straightening wheels and tweaking spoke tensions?
Yeah, it's something we check on most of the bikes come through for service, whether that's your 12-week first service or, like I say, your annual kind of full service. Sometimes you'll need a little bit of a tweak. Other times it's spoke replacements or complete rebuilds.
And as far as replacing bearings on hubs, pretty easy nowadays, knock them out, stick a new one in? Yeah,
I mean, it seems like gone are the days of cup and cone. Everything from a decent level is all cartridge bearings, so relatively straightforward. Certain brands use kind of bespoke bearings, but generally speaking, it's your stock kind of off-the-shelf bearings.
Going for an upgrade on your wheels can be more than just getting a nicer set of wheels for your bike that are longer lasting and easier to maintain. You might also be looking to tweak the overall feel of your bike. So wheels do take an immense beating, so don't underestimate the amount of deflection that takes place when you're riding through tough terrain, including rocks and roots, and even slamming your bike hard into sort of G-force, big berms, compressions. These can wobble and flex side to side more than you'd imagine, a bit like the wing of a plane. It actually adds up to a smoother ride with a bit of that compliance. So a well-designed wheel can offer more compliance, so rather than bounce off things, it can track the ground to keep you that valuable grip. This is where you need to strike a balance between your bike type, the terrain you ride, and also your rider weight. A rider that likes to ride hard on gnarly, rough, fast terrain will need a stronger wheel, but sometimes prefers a decent amount of compliance to deal with those forces and give a forgiving ride on the hands with a bike that wants to track straight. I've also got a friend who weighs over 100 kilograms and goes through wheels ridiculously often, so you got to think about what you're doing with them and if that wheel needs to be super strong, and pay off that compliance with that strength as well. Choice of rim materials are either carbon fibre, as you might be able to see a close up, the weave of that carbon, or aluminium. But it's really important to remember that that alone doesn't tell you how a wheel is going to feel. It's the design of those rims, it's the shape of them, but it's also how the wheel is built with spoke count or even spoke design. So definitely important to remember that. And also sometimes the magic of the rims might be hidden out of view. Actually, Industry 9, this grade 300 has a triple cavity inside there, that rim. But also the way the rim is constructed, so you might find that they have kind of flatter profile on the top, and that can really help spread the load and reduce pinch punctures. So instead of having quite a narrow, sharp bead on that rim that's going to touch the tyre on impacts, you can look for wider profiles there, and that's going to help you, get a stronger wheel, but also prevent pinch punctures.
So Jacob, if we're talking about the different materials, is one tougher than the other? If someone is maybe like a really heavy rider, and I'm talking about not just their physical size, I'm talking about the way they ride a bike, if they're riding really tough trails, being really hard on their equipment, would you recommend, say, aluminium, or is there a choice for everyone out there from carbon and for aluminium?
Well, carbon definitely has the highest strength to weight ratio between the two materials. So if a rider is hard on wheels, in general, carbon wheels are going to be stronger, particularly if you're talking about a wheel in the same category. Of course, one of the other differentiators in terms of both carbon and aluminum is the failure mode. So carbon rims are basically, they're completely okay until they're not. Whereas so a carbon rim typically will, in terms of impact mode, will take if we're doing drop testing, for instance, we'll take a larger and larger hit until the material fractures, at which point it is no longer rideable. Whereas an aluminum rim at a significantly smaller impact will start to dent, and as you increase the load, the dent or the impact damage will become greater. Eventually, the aluminum rim also will have a catastrophic failure as well, or would fail as well. But it's a very different failure mode. On our carbon fiber wheel sets, we do offer a lifetime warranty on the product. So that is for the original owner, and basically as long as the wheel's being used as intended, we'll cover the wheel set.
When we're talking about different styles of riders, lighter and heavier, and we're looking at different strengths of wheels and stiffness of the builds, these different types of riders are going to flex them differently. So do you sometimes find that lighter riders, are going to find their wheels almost too stiff for them?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that's one of the reasons that we offer two different hub and wheel platforms for our complete wheels, particularly in our premium alloy spoke series. So we offer our 24 spoke wheel models and 32 spoke platform. And we find that for lighter riders in particular, many of them do prefer the 24 spoke platform or lighter wheel sets in general, because they do offer a little bit more flex. We also have on our website, we provide suggested weight limits for rider plus bike combinations. Part of that is certainly for strength, but that's also from a perspective of ride quality. Going back to the relationship between carbon and aluminum, that is one of the things that's really unique about carbon in relation to other materials is whereas aluminum, you can control the ride quality to a degree with wall thickness and the rim profile, etc. Whereas carbon, you've got shaping as part of your ability to control the material and how it flexes, but you also have the layup schedule. So with carbon, you can actually adjust the layup schedule to control your flex. So if you want a wheel that's going to flex a little bit more radially, you can bias the plies to accomplish that goal, and while still maintaining some level of lateral stiffness goals in addition to that. So it's a pretty unique material, and it allows you to really hone in on a ride quality to accomplish specific goals for a particular type of rider and wheel set.
Rim width is important because it has a direct relationship as to how your tyres will take their profile at various levels of inflation. And the important one really here, and the one that everyone talks about, is the internal rim width. So that is where the tyre contacts with the rim. Obviously, key to this is the type and the volume of the tyre that you choose as well. We think most full suspension eMTBs running 2.4 up to 2.8 tyres are best suited to 30 to 35 mil inner rim widths. So an important part of e-mountain biking is that contact patch of the tyre on the ground, particularly for things like technical climbing. So it's important that you get that rim width right for your tyre so that you end up with that right contact patch as well. Also, a rim that is too narrow or maybe even too wide will compromise the shape of that tyre, and too narrow for your tyre size, and you actually risk your tyre stability. So actually the tyre can roll just that bit easier. So thinking about all those points I've just mentioned, let's take a look at this wheel. So this is an Industry 9 EM350, has a 35 mil inner rim width. So that's pretty good for tyres up to 2.8 to give them the support they need. But also, so these are carbon fibre rim. The layup of these rims, so how they're pieced together, sort of, it's been designed in with thoughts of that increased frame and rider weights, and also that wider bead wall to give you better protection for the tyres. So this carbon wheel set in 29 weighs in at 1,870 grams. Whereas, let's take a look at a wheel with an aluminium rim. So these are the Industry 9 Grade 300. It's actually an inner rim width of 30 mil on these, but they're super strong. They've got a triple cavity design inside that rim as well. So really designed to be, like I said, super strong, but also deal with like severe impacts and stop these wheels deforming. Now these are slightly heavier. They're weighing at 2,090 grams. Don't also forget that tyres and cassettes will affect the system weights of all this thing. But a tough tyre set, if you're looking at downhill tyres that designed for riding through super tough terrain, they're also going to protect your wheels as well, but they could weigh up to 3 kilograms for the pair. Tubeless, in my opinion, is definitely the way to go. So it's important that your eMTB wheel set is tubeless compatible, because then you can run lower pressures if you want. They're less prone to pinch flats and they're easier to fix with plugs. And there is a slight weight advantage as well. But we've got loads of videos on this subject. If you want to learn more, I'll leave a link down below. Now to the hubs, and actually the rear hub in particular, if we're looking at the Freehub. So quick engagement on that Freehub means you can get the power down really quickly, which is nice if technical climbing is your thing. These Industry 9, the Hydra Freehub has a 690 points of engagement. You can hear that. It's crazy how small distance is between the clicks. The teeth on this Hydra Freehub as well are made from steel that's pre-hardened before they were laser cut, and they're as strong as hardened tool steel, so they're likely to last a long time. Proper maintenance will extend the life of your hubs, so bearings will need re-greasing and actually replacing as well to keep your hubs running as good as new. So everything is fully serviceable in here. So if you're looking to upgrade your wheels, make sure that it's easily done, and then your hub will literally feel like new. More spokes provide additional points of contact, increasing the wheel strength and integrity, but also stiffness. And remember, you might not want a really stiff wheel. The spoke count has to be considered alongside rim design. These EN350s have 32 spokes that are straight pull. You can see how they screw straight into threads in the hub. Incidentally, they're also available in 11 different colours if you want to go mad customising your bike. There are other spoke attachment methods like J-bend that impact the ease of service and the overall strength of the wheel. Finally, the price of your wheel set will depend on the technology and the brand. The level of hub you choose, the rim material and the complexity of the spoke build will all affect the price. For reference, these EN350 wheels from Industry 9 in a 29 with one of the fastest engaging hubs out there are over £2,000 or dollars depending on the country, but they are top of their game in terms of quality and performance. Higher end wheels will offer better durability, lighter weight and advanced technology and may last longer, but there are solid options available at lower price points as well. The cheapest I found for an eMTB specific product was £350. Jump into comments down below if you are considering upgrading or replacing your wheels, and what are you thinking about on the rims? Are you going to use carbon or aluminium? Thanks for watching.